So we've all been there before. You're browsing through YouTube and you notice that your favorite Minecraft YouTuber has uploaded a Redstone House video. You eagerly jump in and by the end you're much inspired to go create your own beautiful looking house chock full to the brim with all sorts of different redstone contraptions. However, once you get started, you quickly realize that this is much easier said than done. And as the frustration starts to set in, you quickly realize that this might not be worth your time, and you abandon the idea of building your own redstone house. Wouldn't it be nice if there was someone who could walk you through step by step as to how to make one of these? How's it going, everybody? I'm Kevbotomy, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'm bringing you the DIY Redstone House Guide. That's right. You have suffered long enough. You no longer have to go on YouTube and watch the videos and do the guesswork. Today I'm going to show you how to build your own redstone house exactly how you want it. Now I'm really excited to get started with this, so let's begin. So we are here in a brand new super flat world where I have been playing around with a bunch of concepts and ideas for this redstone house guide, and you can see a couple partially done mock-ups in front of me. And what I'm going to be doing for this part of the video is I'm going to start by explaining the 4 main steps to actually creating your own redstone house. So the first step is going to be framing. And if we fly around to the back side of the house, you'll see that it's nowhere near as done. All we've got is a bunch of bone blocks, and they're making this really skeletal looking structure. Now I'm going to get into a bunch of details on how to build this framing later on in the video, but for now you should note that the walls are 3 thick with the frame, so that does take away from interior space, but it also gives you separate walls to decorate on the inside and outside, while also leaving room in the middle to put in your redstone. Now that's the basic idea behind this, but the other 3 steps will help you get this whole project done. So step 1 is the framing. Step 2 is to actually put in the redstone contraptions. Now, that's probably the most difficult part of all of it because you have to figure out what redstone contraptions you want to use. Then you also have to figure out where you want them in the house and how they're going to tie into the different rooms. So that part is a little bit tricky and requires some extra planning, but for the most part, it's one of the funnest parts of actually building these houses. Step number 3, as we can look at over here, is to simply fill in the walls with a solid color. I did design the framing so that when you do this, you will not see any of the redstone. It'll be nicely hidden away, but it's not very difficult to actually get a nice standardized clean look across the whole building. Now step number 4, we can look at actually on the outside here, and this is where you actually go into more detail with your decorating. As you can see here, I do not just have simple fill on these walls, but rather I've gone for lots of quartz to add a bunch of texture, and overall I think it turned out really nice. So before we get into the tutorial here, I'll just show you around these couple little builds. They're not really anything special, but they do kind of give you an idea of what to expect from these sorts of houses. So, first thing we've got here is actually a nice little combination lock, 8 levers all on AND gates, and as you can see the door will open, but if any of the levers are in the wrong position, you have a locked door. Now I did do another kind of locked door over here. This one requires a key card. You just put the right item in there. I believe it's just a redstone. No, it's not. It's password, the dirt. So we put a password in there, and you'll see the door opens. If we hit the button, we will get our password back in that dropper, and we can remove it, and the door will be locked again. We might have... yeah, we had a second password in there. Now, the door will be locked. So, I'm going to show you how to build those doors later on in the video. And then also in here, I've been trying to think of some kitchen concepts, and going to flesh that out a bit later in the video as well. Now, as you can see, the redstone fits quite cleanly in between the walls, and if we actually pop over here, maybe remove a few of these blocks, you can see there's redstone everywhere. So The framing really helps to keep the redstone organized, and with the redstone being organized like that, it really makes decorating the house a lot easier. So without further ado, let's get started on that tutorial. Alright guys, so I've started up a new world and now it is time to get on with this tutorial. So we're going to start with step number 1, and that is the framing. So if I turn around really quick here, you'll see that I got a little bit of a start going. What I did is I decided on the basic layout of the house, I want to go for a little bit of an L shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape because this is the size of the interior of the house. So when you're initially designing your first shape, you want to do the interior first because that's where you need space for all the contraptions on the inside. So interior first, and then once you're done that, go one block out, and you want to make a ring all the way around your first base there. So what you'll have is you're going to have one block of space all the way around, and then you're going to have 2 shapes for the base of your house. So I will catch you once I am done that. So next I'm going to show you how to frame up the walls. So what you want to do is you want to pick a corner to start at, and it doesn't matter if you do the inside or the outside first because you're going to have to do them both. But what you want to do is you want to build up a 6-block high column, and then on the top and 2 down from that block you want to build rows going all the way across to the next corner, and then you kind of want to carry around that pattern all the way around the box. So you'll have something that looks a little bit like that. And then what you want to do is you want to carry it all the way around the perimeter. Now this is going to give you the frame for 1 floor of the house. And then if you want to add another floor, all you have to do is build up 6 more. 6, and then same thing, just like that. And then you would carry them all the way around. In this video I will be doing 2 floors, so I'm going to finish up those walls. You do it on the inside and on the outside, and I will catch you when I'm done that. So guys, I finished up the interior frame, and I thought I would just stop and show you what it looked like before I went on and did the outside. So as you can see, we've got the inside of the house nicely framed up, and I guess what really makes this framing different from a lot of traditional Minecraft houses is that we are doing the 2 layers. Now, most houses, you might just have that kind of framing as the base for the house and then decorate from there, but that's what makes this method so special, and so now it's time to do the outside framing, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright guys, just like that, your main framing is done. So as you can see, we've got the inside and the outside, and I can't emphasize enough that this is where the redstone is going, right in the middle. And yeah, so you've got your first step done, you've got the basic structure of the house laid out, and now it's time to move on to step number 2, which is redstone. Let's talk about that for a minute. Alright guys, so before we really get into step number 2, I wanted to take a bit of a break and start flying around through the redstone testing world, and that's because I want to talk to you a little bit about step number 2. Now, redstone is the most important factor in your redstone house. What contraptions you decide to build is going to shape how your house looks, and it might need you to build some extra framing. So what I showed you before in step number 1 is just the basic structure, so you will have to do some modified framing as you go along and build more redstone contraptions. So with that said, let's get into step number 2. Alright guys, so just a little bit of a disclaimer here before we get going. I'm not going to be doing tutorials for these redstone contraptions right now. I'm going to be doing the tutorials at the end of the video. So if you don't want to watch me build all the redstone, you don't have to. You can safely watch me do all of the steps. I'm going to do sort of a before and after type of thing with each contraption. And then at the end of the video, if you want to know how to build anything, you can go through all the various tutorials. So with that said, we're going to get started on the first contraption. So in front of us we have the password protected security system. So right here we have an iron door, and if we step on the pressure plate you'll see that it will not open. However, if we take our password right here, this lovely purple block, because purple is definitely one of my favorite blocks, and if we put it right in this dropper right there, where did it go? What? Huh? What just happened? What? So, pardoning the disappearing block glitch, all you have to do is put your password into the dropper like so, and you'll see that comparator comes on, and what that does is it actually unlocks the door. So we step on the pressure plate, and it opens right up for us. We can walk right on through, no problems. And if we want to get our password back, we just have to hit the button on the side here, and it'll come up into this dropper, and we can retrieve it like so. So, that's the system. Now we're going to implement it somewhere in this house. I'm thinking we're gonna put the door right here. Now, I will show you once I am done. Alright guys, so just like that, we have a door implemented. So, just to show you that it works, we step on the pressure plate, nothing happens. We put in our password, and we can walk right on through. So, good system, works quite well. And if you face the dropper in the right direction, it'll even shoot it out at you with 2 button presses. So, that's nice. Now we have a working door. Time to move on to the next contraption. So guys, the next contraption we're going to be implementing is going to be a nano farm. So what you do here is you flick the lever, there are dispensers filled with bone meal, and what you do is you start right-clicking potatoes and you hold them down. And as you can see, you start gaining potatoes pretty darn quickly. So I am in survival mode just to show you that it does work. And it's a modified version of a design from Impulse SV. Amazing YouTuber and amazing Minecraft player, and yeah, now let's go and show you where I'm going to put this in to the build. So we're going to leave creative, or go to creative mode real quick. Hop over to the house, and I've decided I'm going to put that right about in here. Now, I want to build a kitchen area over here. We're going to connect that up to a bunch of other things, and it's going to be quite exciting. So, I'm going to jump on that real quick, and I will show you the result. So, the next redstone contraption we're going to be putting in is the standard item elevator. We want to do something with our drops from the nano farm. We don't want them to just build up in our inventory, and so we want to send them around the base to some storage that we'll build later on and stuff like that. So here we are. It's just a glass item elevator. You can put any block you want around it, and that's kind of important because this is going to end up being part of the wall, but that's alright. It'll send the items right up to where I need them. And then we're actually going to run them into the next redstone contraption, which I'm going to build for you right now. Alright guys, so this mighty thing right here is known as a super smelter. This is a basic 2-furnace smelter, so it's really easy to make and hook up. And what we're going to do is run items up an item elevator, through an item sorter, and then the potatoes are going to go into a super smelter. Now we're going to run that all through the wall right there, and I'm going to just kind of show you that once I've got it in. Alright guys, here we go. So we've got this whole little system set up here. So we've got the nano farm right there. We can turn that on, that works fine. All of the excess drops are collected through this hopper system, sent up the item elevator, then they run through this hopper line. Now if they are potatoes, they will be sucked down through this system here, and they'll go into the super smelter through the top. Now I modified the super smelter a little bit here, so we have these hoppers underneath. They'll suck the items right through into this chest, but once they become full, there's some overflow protection which will run off into the storage. So overall, we have a pretty good system going here. Now it's time to work on the rest of our redstone kitchen. Alright guys, so I've finished up all the components for the kitchen here. So what I've done is I've taken one of the outputs from the super smelter and I've actually ran it into this fridge here. Now this is because the super smelter is hooked up to a nano farm, and it'll be cooking the potatoes, so it'll be nice to have some extra potato storage. Now up here you'll see there's some shulker boxes, and these are portable cabinets that will hold other kinds of food, be it carrots and stuff like that. Now they just take out of this hopper line that I've extended down here, and once they're filled, the hopper line will continue around to a storage system that we're going to build right there. So that's actually the next thing we're going to get onto here, and yeah, I'll get on that. So in front of me we have a slice of a standard item sorter, and we're going to be using this for our storage system. Now I also left room with this hopper right here for some overflow protection, and if we fly over to the house here you'll see that I've already got it in place, so that's looking cool, but we've got a big chunk sticking out of the wall here. Now I was talking a little bit about this earlier, but what we're gonna have to do is add some extra framing. So we're gonna grab our block, and I've decided that I just want to bring the whole front wall out, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of a frame in here, and we're going to go the full height of the first floor just like that. We will bring it all the way around to here, and then I think that's probably good enough. We'll just bring it right back into the building like that. And then that'll actually give us an opportunity to maybe build a balcony later. So, all in all, it's about finding ways to use the extra framing when you have to build it in, and overall I think that it doesn't really hurt the versatility of the framing concept at all. I think it's actually why it's really good. Alright guys, so I've properly hooked up the sorting system to the storage system, and I've also hooked up the overflow protection, and it goes into this nice little cactus garbage can right here. So that all works pretty nicely, and it doesn't hurt any of the framing. That's really good. And I think that's going to do it for the bottom floor for the redstone contraptions. Alright guys, so as we move on to the second floor, I can explain another really nice use of the framing, and that's stairs. You have a nice piece of wall that you're not really putting any redstone in, and you don't see anything else you can do with it, you can go ahead and put in some stairs. It's all fine and dandy, it'll look pretty decent when it's all said and done, and it gets you from floor to floor without interfering with this center space. So that's pretty cool, and again, it helps with the versatility of the framing. But now let's get some contraptions in on this second floor. Alright guys, so now that we're ready to work on the second floor, we need to make sure our framing is ready. So the first thing I've noticed is that the item sorter, having those hoppers in the wall right there, is going to be a bit of a problem. So what I'm gonna do is extend the framing for the balcony all the way out to the side of the house. Then I'm gonna bring it down like so. And maybe we can do something with that space underneath there later on. But for now we can also rerun the hoppers through this way, and then that way they're not in the wall where they're going to cause problems. Now another thing I'm going to do is sort of plan out where I want to put my rooms. I think I want the bedroom sort of right around here, and then I want to put a bathroom maybe in that sort of area or something like that. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to sort all that out, enjoy the beautiful sunset, and I will catch you with an update. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have cleaned up the balcony there, the hopper line has been moved, and I have traced out where I want to put the rooms inside. Now the other thing I've done, if we come over here, I have added another redstone contraption to the big line. This is going to be our patio door. So this is a sliding glass door that fits mostly into a one wide space. There's this little bit right here that will run exactly on top of some framing, so that's no problem there. And if we go and flick the lever, you will see that the door will open, and if we walk inside, there we go. You'll see that the glass is in there nice, we've got a nice floor, and then if we hit the lever again, the glass is spat out, and then the floor becomes the wall, and we have a nice closed area. So, I really like this contraption. Now I'm going to put it into the house. And the door is in. Now, with the storage system there, this was a little bit tricky to fit in there. I had to change it up from that design a little bit. So as you can see, I took advantage of the existing framing to put on a lot of the redstone, and I did it without disrupting the look or functionality of the sorting system. So if we hit the lever right here, we'll see that the door opens nicely, and flick the lever again to close it. So that's a patio door all said and done with, and now it's time to work on a few more things upstairs here. So the next redstone contraption on the list is going to be this guy you see right in front of me. This is a armor equipping station, so all you have to do is run onto the pressure plate, and these dispensers will equip a fresh set of armor onto you. So this is useful for the bedroom when you respawn right after you die. You can quickly grab some armor and get out of there. And as you can see, I have sliced it in right here, nice and beside the door there. Alright guys, so the next redstone contraption is going to be the working toilet. So in front of me we have a toilet, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a bunch of redstone, and I'm just gonna throw it into the toilet, and I don't even actually have to do anything. I don't have to flush it. It's just gonna go automatically down, and it's actually a garbage can. The items will be dispensed safely into the lava. But if you want to open and close the lid of your toilet, you can hit the button up here, and that's going to toggle your toilet seat briefly. So, over in the Redstone House, I have built one of these toilets. It is sitting in the bathroom area right here, ready to go. And yeah, I thought that was a really fun contraption. It turned out quite well. So guys, for the final bit of redstone, I have traced out a bunch of locations where I want to put some redstone lamps. Now these will be on a daylight sensor, but you may notice that these two in the corner are already turned on. Now due to some of the redstone here, I don't know if I have a way of powering these guys effectively without interfering. Oh, actually I do. If I break those, I should be able to put redstone torches there, and on there, and then I might be able to do something with the top of this block like that. Okay, so I might be able to work with that still, but the rest of these lights are all ready to be put on a daylight sensor, and I'm going to do that in a second here, and that'll just about wrap up the redstone. Alright guys, so all of the lighting for the house is hooked up, and I have hooked it up to a daylight sensor right here, so if I flick that, you'll see all the lights around the house get turned off, except that one. That one seems to be inverted. Oh, or just not powered by anything yet. Okay, I didn't do that one yet. But all the rest of the lighting is all good now, everything's working, and so it's time to fix that light, and then finally move on to step number 3 of the Redstone House Guide. Alright guys, so that about does it for the redstone step of this guide. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough of all of the redstone that we built into this house. So first and foremost, we have the secure door. If we put our password into this dropper, we can walk right on through with no issues. Then just in to the left, we have the storage system. Now there's an item filter back there that'll sort out all of the individual crops that you get from the nano farm that we built right here. Now this nano farm leads into a nice item elevator, and that will lead into this hopper stream. And there's another item filter right here that'll put potatoes into the super smelter, and the super smelter leads into this nice fridge we've got here, so we can collect all of our potatoes right there. Now the hopper stream also continues all the way around, and goes into the storage system that we mentioned earlier. Now up on the second floor we've got the patio sliding glass door. If we flick the lever, that'll open right up, and we can close it again. And then we've also got the armor equipping station. Going around the outside, we've got some lighting. Now this will turn on at night. I can demonstrate that right here. And once it gets dark enough, you'll see all of the lamps turn on, and that's from this daylight sensor right over here. But that about does it for the redstone step. Let's get on with the next part of this guide. Alright guys, so now it is time to get on to step number 3. So this is probably the simplest step of the whole bunch, and it is just a matter of filling in the walls and the floors and the ceiling and roof of the house. Now you already have the frame and you just want to fill in inside of the frame, but I've got an example here for you. So if we just walk inside here, we can see that the chest room is all done. Now we've got some nice walls going around here. We've got a good looking spruce floor, and then I got some nice ceiling with some lights inside of it. I think all of that looks really well, and you can see that all I did was just fill in the framing, and most of it you don't really see. Now, if we spin around here, I've also finished the kitchen. I've picked a nice tile looking floor, I've filled in the walls around the countertops, I've put in some counters, and then some more roofing, and all of it looks quite good. Alright guys, now I'm going to do a quick demonstration as to how to put these blocks into place. So we're going to start with our quartz stairs here, and we're going to run them just along the side of the framing, just like that. Then we're going to take our spruce slabs and we're going to run them beside it for the remainder of the floor. Now all of this should be spawn proof because it is made out of stairs and slabs. Now you want to take your wall block and just fill in all of the framing here, go up and over, just fill it all in. And then for the ceiling, you can take your quartz stairs again, run them along for some ceiling trim, and then fill in with some slabs just coming out from there. Then if you want some lighting, you just gotta take a sea lantern, pop it where you want it, and then take your stairs and go on all 4 sides like so. Now that's how you put in all of those blocks, and then you just want to do that for the remainder of the house. So guys, last thing I wanted to show you for this step before I talk about the outside of it is how to put in a window. So you want to start with the section of wall where you want to place the window, just ignore this redstone line for now, and you want to punch out the area where you want to put your window in. From the inside you want to place in some quartz stairs upside down and run that along, and that'll be a good windowsill. And you want to come around and you want to fill in the inside of the framing with your framing block to cover up the inside of the window and make it look nice. From there you want to decide what block you want to use on the outside, and then you want to go in and place in your glass. From there you can touch up the stairs to make it have a nice shape with the outside of the building. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about here is filling in the outside of the building, because it's pretty much the same as the inside. All you want to do is take your block and fill in all of the walls. So I'm going to do that and catch you with the completed product. Alright guys, so that does it for step number 3. As you can see behind me, these walls are sort of finished up, so what we're going to do is we're going to go on a really quick tour here. So let me flip around. So we're on the balcony, it's looking good out here. If we walk in the house, we've got the main room upstairs here, it's looking good. And if we go down into the bathroom, you can see it's nice and finished as well. Then if we hop through this nicely decorated room, we can go into the stairway, which I forgot to actually decorate, so I will do that later on here. And then we come down, we've already seen here, and then I've also included a little room off to the side where I'll probably put an enchanting station or something. So that's all done, and now let's fly around and look at the outside here. So as you can see, I've gone a little bit into step number 4 here, and that's the decoration. Now the reason I did that is if we fly over to here, you'll notice this log. Now I actually needed something to cover up this redstone. It was sitting on top of the framing. Now normally that is a no-no, but sometimes if you have a good idea for covering it up, a nice aesthetic feature that you want to include, that's what you can do, and you can hide away the redstone like that. So I built a few more of those logs going around the house like that. As you can see, everything is filled in and finished. So now it's time to get on to step number 4, and that is, of course, the final decorating. So this looks pretty decent as is. I think it's already a pretty good looking house, but there's still lots of little touches I can make everywhere. So I'm going to do that, and then I will show you the finished result. Alright guys, so this is what the house looks like when it's all fully decorated. I have finished it up. I built a little bit of a yard around it and added a tree and a few other details. And yeah, so there's not too much for me to say about step number 4 because step number 4 is decorating, and really you can ultimately do that however you want. So I'm going to sort of end off this video by giving you a bit of a tour of the house. So you've already seen most of it, but now we're sort of looking at it from the decorative aspect. So as you can see, I went a little non-traditional with the lawn. We've got clay for grass and wool for bushes, and I thought that was sort of a neat aesthetic feature. So we go through our door. You've already seen in here, I've added a clock, a little bit of few bits there for, you know, use with the storage system, and then bookshelves, plant, and a shelf there. Over here I added a sink, got some neat hot and cold taps going on, that's pretty cool. And then just a few other little decorative bits and bobs. Then through here, I have built up a nice little enchanting room. I think it looks pretty cool in here. Little window there. I actually forgot the stained glass panes right there, so that's actually my bad. We'll put those in right now. And then it's time to show you the upstairs, because you've seen most of the kitchen already. So we're gonna go up here, and you'll notice that I actually filled in all the blocks here. You do see through some of the walls, so that's unfortunate, but for the most part, it doesn't look too bad. So we go through here, and I've sort of built up my bedroom area, added a bunch of details here and there, and overall it actually just kind of looks like a room now. Now by the patio door here, I added a couple of coat hooks or whatever, and there's a shelf in there. And then if we look in the bathroom, we've got a sink, we've got a little towel rod there, some toilet paper roll, so all of that's good in there. And now finally we check out the deck, and you can see we've got a nice little patio set there, so you can sit on the deck, enjoy a drink and the sunlight and your redstone house as well. So ultimately I had a lot of fun with this, and I hope you guys learned how to build your own redstone house. I hope I gave you a lot of ideas and a lot of inspiration, and hopefully enough guidelines for you to effectively execute it. Now, all of these, the redstone contraptions, I'm not doing a tutorial for them in this video. This video has been long enough as is, and yeah, I don't need to tack on a bunch of tutorials. I think that would be a bit out of place. But if any of these contraptions really interested you, if you want to see the password protected door, or maybe how to build an automatic garbage dispensing toilet, well, if you want to see something, let me know down in the comments section, and I don't know, I might just do a tutorial for it. Some of these I probably won't, like the item elevator and the nano farm. They've been around for ages, and I'm sure it's easy enough to find a tutorial out there. But if you want to see it on maybe the doors or the toilet or something like that, let me know down in the comments, and I will do a future tutorial on those. But that is it. In a quick review, step 1, we did our framing. Step number 2, we built all of our redstone. Step number 3, we filled in the walls. And then step number 4, we did our final decorating. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But I hope to see you in my next Minecraft video. Bye!